So if I was starting golf again, I would absolutely want to work on this. So I could learn to hit ball and then ground every time and generate some nice distance with reasonable control. Now I know what you're thinking, that looked really easy, didn't it? But I'm only really making this video because my youngest son's just started and he plays lots and lots of sports and he's kind of got an idea how to swing the golf club. But we had him in here the other day and he sets up really well to the golf ball. But when he was swinging, we found sometimes he'd top the ball, sometimes he'd hit it really, really heavy, and he really struggled getting that consistent ball and then ground contact. So the little drill we worked on for him was we explained the theory that that club head moves in a circular motion around the body and that we needed the lowest point of the circle to be ahead of the golf ball. But he tended to find that when he made the big swing, he really, really struggled to get the low point ahead of the ball, but also touching the ground consistently. So what we said is if you want the width of your circle to stay consistent, if we were to say the width of the circle was from my sternum to the club head, obviously it changes club to club, but certainly from here to the hands would be consistent. We said that if he were to swing back and feel that that trail elbow stayed close to his side, he could only get so far back, but we'd see that the width there was pretty good. He could then swing down and then focus on keeping that left elbow fairly close, but it'd restrict how far he could swing. But we'd straight away see the consistent width of the circle, which then suddenly made him start making contact with the ground. And then we could give feedback was he touching the ground in the correct place? So, did a few of those practice swings, feel right elbow stays close, left elbow stays close, but it definitely doesn't feel like a full swing. And to be honest, we probably spent 5 minutes just making those swings and paying attention to where he hit the ground. So initially, he started touching the ground back behind the ball there. So then we said, right, imagine we set up in line with the ball, but then there's a little line on the mat there. We're going to make that swing, but can we touch that front line? And straight away, we noticed how, as he got back here, his first movement was then towards the target, and we started touching the ground ahead. And I explained that if we can start getting that low point consistent, we've got that much better chance of our ball striking being solid. So he stood up on the next one, and I said, don't worry how far this goes. Right elbow was close, left elbow was close. And straight away we saw the low point ahead, very much like that. Clubs travelled down 4.4 degrees, carries 132 and total 147. Now to be honest, he doesn't swing quite as quick as me, and I'm sure if he watches this video he'll comment on this, but the pickup and his distance initially was brilliant. And he actually made the comment, it feels like a nothing swing. And I think that's great, the fact that it feels like he's not trying to get distance, but he's starting to create it already. But we said, literally all we wanted him to work on is right elbow in, shift, left elbow in. And very short on the way back, fairly curtailed on the way through. And again, we're going to set up. And it was interesting because as we're seeing there, straight away that low point was ahead every single time. And the distances became very, very consistent. And it's definitely, certainly for me when I started, there was an element that I did a little bit of waist height stuff when I first played golf. But certainly down the line, my thing when I started was very much trying to kind of swing back so that the toe was straight to the sky. And we can see when I do that, there's no real body shift. So it was very much kind of hands and arms for me. And I would say when I did that drill, I really struggled with the consistency of the contact. You can see that one there, 1.7 inches behind. So I love the fact that when you focused on keeping that elbow in, the only way you can actually get the club moving away is actually to turn the body a little bit in the backswing and then shift and turn the body on the way through. And it's almost like if I was throwing something heavy towards the screen here, I start getting some nice sequencing with my body. So we spent nearly the whole hour doing this, and his improvement was massive. Elbow down, elbow down. But inevitably, we started to see good strikes, consistent distances. But then he said, right, because he'd got a game booked. First ever game, just 9 holes. Comment below what you think he shot for 9 holes. He's 15 years old, and he hit 7-iron with a full swing about 130 yards. But he said if I wanted to go further, obviously if I made a bigger backswing, that'd help, wouldn't it? I said, yes, I agree. But I said, what you'll tend to feel is as you swing back, you'll get to that point where that elbow can stay down, but then the elbow will come away from the side a little bit, and then it's how we get back. So we said, we're going to make our swing, let the hands get further up, but that first feel as he moves across is we want to feel that elbow work into the side and then swing all the way through. So we did a few practice swings, and the feedback, as ever, was about could he make sure that contact with the ground was after the golf ball. And once he'd done a few of those, we set up, make the swing. We maintained that low point ahead, saw a pick up in distance, and still lots and lots of control. But I did stress to him that if he went for that bigger swing on the golf course and struggled with it, he could still go back to that length swing and hit some very good shots and be consistent. And I do think every golfer, if you can learn how to get that good solid strike, I'll say every time, but majority of the time with every club in the bag, makes golf a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable if you know that you're going to hit good shots. But like I said, if I could have started my golf just learning a little bit of that to begin with and seeing some nice distance, we can see they're not straight, but it's a consistent shape of shot. It's amazing how much quicker you move down the hole, get the scores down, get that handicap down. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Shooting better scores, enjoying your golf, but that little drill of elbow in, shift, and left elbow in can be an absolute game changer for someone new to the game, but maybe even if you've been playing for years and still struggle with that ball striking.